Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 80 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 25. Night number 80. You know what that means? As Bowie Jane pointed out yesterday, it means that they are down to the teens in terms of their countdown. They've got 19 days left. It's getting towards the end. As you get towards the end, everyone gets that much more stressed, that much more ramped up. Looking forward to see how this all finishes up over the next couple of weeks. But before we talk about all of that, we've got to talk about what happened yesterday, what happened last night. We did have a nomination that took place. We had a lot of discussions on that. We've got a veto competition taking place today. I got to say, not as much conversation taking place in the evening hours. Once we had nominations, I think everyone's kind of chill. Everyone thinks they know what's going on. Some people understand what's really going on. Others, not so much. And we're going to talk about all of that. But I do want to talk about the one-on-ones that took place before we had the nominations, because that's really the most important stuff over the last 24 hours. So let's talk about that real quickly. We started off the day with everyone wanting to have their one-on-ones with Jag, basically just lined up outside waiting to talk to Jag. Bowie Jane's upstairs playing pool in the bumper room because she wants to have a one-on-one, or she just wants to see who goes in when and how long they take. Maybe a little bit of both, but we had a lot of one-on-ones taking place yesterday. We're going to start off with Jag and Felicia talking. And I just a few bullet points for every one of these conversations that took place. Jag is saying that he is serious about a Final Four with him and Matt and Felicia and Cirie. Felicia certainly is happy to hear that. Jag is making clear to Felicia that America is the target, that's who needs to go home this week. Felicia continues to push the why isn't Bowie Jane going up on the block? He's pushing that Bowie Jane really should be on the block, that she's been on the block before. Blue's been on the block before. How come Bowie Jane didn't go on the block? So he certainly pushes that some. Jag kind of circumvents a lot of that, shuts it down by telling Felicia, saying, look, at the end of the day, you've been on the block a lot. He says, I've been on the block almost as much as you have, so I can certainly empathize. And Felicia, you're not going on the block this week. I'm not going to put you up as a nomination this week. And I think he says as a nomination or as a renom. So she certainly is happy to hear that. Very, very happy, in fact, to hear that. He's telling her that it's going to actually be Blue. So no, it's not going to be Bowie Jane. It's going to be Blue that's up on the block against America, and that America is the target. So that's his conversation with Felicia. We then have Bowie Jane come in talking to Jag. Jag is telling Bowie Jane that Blue and America are going up. So again, he's telling her the same thing that he told Felicia with regards to nominations. He's saying that Felicia was really pushing to nominate Bowie Jane, just to let her know. Because remember, we've got Jag and Matt who have this group with Cirie and Felicia, but also have this group of three with Bowie Jane as well. So it certainly benefits Jag, I think, to have Bowie Jane and Cirie and Felicia kind of at odds with one another. So he's telling Bowie Jane, saying, look, just so you know, Felicia was certainly pushing hard to get you up on the block. He's saying that he's trying to downplay. He's trying to distance himself from Bowie Jane when he talks to Felicia, especially. He doesn't want her to realize how close they are. I think everyone realized that, well, maybe not Felicia. We'll have a conversation a little bit later between Cirie and Felicia about that very topic. But he's wanting to make sure that Bowie understands that when he talks to Felicia, he's really downplaying any relationship he has with Bowie Jane. He's saying that he told Blue, he's saying that he's telling Bowie Jane that he told Blue that if America wins the veto, that he will put up Bowie Jane as the renom. But he's telling Bowie Jane, he's saying, but really, that's what I told Blue. But if it was to come down to that, it's really going to be Felicia that goes up on the block. So you're safe this week. You are not going on the block, Bowie. He is asking Bowie Jane, though. He said, look, visit with Blue as much as you can. Reassure her that she isn't the target, that it's actually America. But with that being said, they're both thinking that there's some conversation about Blue versus Felicia, and I mean Blue versus America and all that. But the conversation turns towards next week. They're both kind of agreeing with each other that maybe sending Felicia out next week, even over America, wouldn't be a bad idea. That Felicia is maybe more of a threat to the three of them. So again, they're thinking beyond this week and actually talking about next week as well. But again, he's told Bowie Jane she's not going on the block no matter what. Keep Blue calm and comfortable. And again, I think Bowie Jane realizes that Blue's actually the target, but he's telling her make sure that she thinks that that America is the target instead. All right, we've got Cirie and Jag now talking on their one-on-one. Cirie is basically reiterating what Felicia and Jag had talked about before. Cirie saying, look, I really want this Final Four. You and Matt and me and Felicia, that's how I want to go to the end with this thing. She is saying, I want to win this next HOH, the double eviction HOH. She says, I want to do that so I can protect you and Matt. It's my turn to do it. I want to do it. And that's what I need to do, which Jag is appreciative of. Jag is telling Cirie that Blue is going up as the person next to America for the initial nominations. Eventually, though, there was some talk earlier about whether he was going to bring Cirie in on the plans or not. Well, eventually he's told Cirie. He starts off just kind of implying it. Towards the end of their conversation, he pretty much just lays it out, says, look, Blue is going to be the target. She's going up against America. It's actually going to be her and not America that I would like to send out the door. Well, that's something to think about, because Jag doesn't actually get to vote. It's so he can put Blue up and he can say she's the target instead of America. But it depends on the votes as well. Now, Matt will vote that way. Bowie Jane will vote that way. So it's really, if this group of three decides Blue's going. But, it's beyond just Jags voting at this point in time. Don't think it'll matter. Just throwing that out there. But he does tell Cirie that Blue is the actual target. And the reason for that is because he believes that she is much better at competitions than America is, and therefore why not get her out, because he believes that Blue is certainly gunning for him and Matt just like America is, so why not get at the bigger comp threat? It's what he's laying out to Cirie. But Cirie at the end says that she'll go ahead and reassure Blue that Blue is good, that America's heading out. So Cirie had already said, I think she said it to Matt a day or so ago, that if Blue had to go, she'd be okay with that. It's not the end of the world. And so she's letting Jag know as well that she's on board. She'll make sure that Blue feels comfortable. Blue's going to be surprised. Oh, is Blue going to be surprised? All right, we've got America and Jag now talking to one another. America's saying that she has someone else other than Matt and Jag in mind as far as a target if she was to win HOH. And she's saying that just so you know as well that I'm not the only one, or that there's others that are targeting you and Matt. So don't think that I'm the person you got to worry about as the threat in here and all that. She's saying there's plenty of people that are mentioning your names. Just so you know about that. She's promising the world to Jag. She's saying, not only if I get HOH, she says, not only will I not put the two of you up, but I also promise I will use the veto on one or the other of y'all if I win the veto. I also promise that I will not vote for either one of y'all. If it comes down to a vote and one of y'all is on the block against someone else, I make a promise that I will vote to keep you. She's promising everything that you could possibly promise if they will just keep her off the block this week. Now, the reality is you've got to be able to win an HOH or a veto to be able to do that. And she hasn't necessarily shown that she can do that just yet, but she actually has a response to that as well. She says, look, these promises are, she's made all these promises, and she says these promises are important if you think that I can win comps, right? If you think that I'm capable of winning stuff, then this should mean a lot that I'm willing to do all this stuff for you. And she said, if you don't think that I can win competitions, if you think that I'm just not a comp beast, I'm not really capable of that, she said, then why are you putting me up on the block anyway? If I'm so incapable of winning anything, then why would you put me up to start with? I thought it was a pretty good little argument she threw out there of why he needs to take that seriously. So she does mention that. Jag is saying, look, I get it. I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll do what I can to protect you. He says, but I have to put you on the block because otherwise people are going to be suspicious of me. It's not going to work well. So I get it. And I don't want you to go anywhere. He said, but I can't promise you that I'm not going to put you up on the block. He said, I have to put you on the block. But he is saying that while he does have to put her on a block, he says, But here's the thing, as long as you don't say anything about it to anyone else that you're not the target, then I can tell you you're not the target. He didn't say Blue's name at this point in time, but later he does reveal that Blue's going up. So basically he's letting her know Blue is who's going home. It's not her. But if you say anything about it, it could easily become you. This is like deja vu all over again. I feel like I heard these same conversations yesterday when I did my recap. And there is a lot of rehashing over and over again, but it's been laid out more formally, more officially in these one-on-one. So he's telling her, you're good as long as you just stay chill, stay cool going forward. And last night, for the most part, she did that. She has not revealed to anyone, as far as I know, that she's not actually the target. So he's laying it out for her as well, saying Blue is the one going up. Blue is the one going home. He does tell her as well that if one of them was to win the veto, be Blue or America, either one, Felicia will be going up to take their place, and it will still be Blue. I guess if Blue wins the veto, then would it be Felicia? I don't know. He hadn't gone that far through, and I would not be depending on that if I was on America. So America needs to be hoping that as long as someone other than a person named Blue wins veto, that she should be safe this week. All right, we've got Blue and we've got Matt and Jag talking a little bit. Jag just filling Matt in on all the conversations he's had with America and Felicia and Cirie and Bowie Jane. So no big deal with that. They're still tight as two peas in a pod. All right, we've got Blue and Jag talking to one another. This is a conversation that Jag was a little nervous about. He's told everyone else that Blue's going up on the block. He hadn't told Blue that yet. And he's been worried about it. He's saying, look, Blue, America is a target. Surely you understand America is a target. He says, but, and as soon as he says, but, she says, yeah, I know what's coming. I knew this is going to happen. He says, yeah, he said, you are going to go up as a pawn. And he explains it to her. And I think there was some talk earlier about maybe saying it's because Felicia's been up on the block so much and all. And I think maybe it was Matt. I can't remember. Someone said, yeah, I wouldn't even go that. It may have been Cirie said, I'm not even sure I'd go that direction with Blue. She may not be so sympathetic to how many times Felicia's been on the block. So he actually changes it up. He says, look, you're going up on the block against America because we've got to make sure America goes home this week. You stand a much better. He's kissing up to you're so much better a competitor, Blue, than anyone else in this house. So I need to make sure that you're actually competing. And the only way I can do that is by putting you up next to her. That way, guaranteed you're going to compete in this veto. You need to win it so that America can't win it. I'm doing it as a team effort to make sure that we can get America out the door. So that's the argument he's making. Now, Blue should know better than this. Blue should see the writing on the wall. I think it's easy for us to say seeing everything outside as opposed to being in that house. But only one person isn't getting picked for veto this week. If someone's only argument to me is that, oh, it's because I want you to play in veto, I think I'm raising my hand and saying, it's only like, a 15% chance that I'm not going to play in veto anyway. For that 15% chance, I'd rather just not be in the block and feel a bit safer, Jag. Thank you very much. It would seem to me like I would feel very threatened if that's the only reason he's putting up out there. And maybe she is, but if so, she's hiding it very well because she seems okay with it. She seems understanding of it. Jag is saying that if in a worst case situation, America does win veto, then at that point in time, he's going to put up Bowie Jane. And Bowie Jane's going to be evicted from the house. So Blue, you're good no matter what. You just, I'm depending upon you and your competition skills. Blue is so funny. Blue is so certain that she's a comp B. She said at one point yesterday that really she's probably the best. Corey had to go home because without Corey in there, she's now like the best strategist in the house. And I'll argue that a little bit, a whole lot. But he does say that. Bowie Jane will go home if America wins veto, but I got you up there so that doesn't happen in the first place, Blue. And he says, Blue, if you win veto, obviously you'll pull yourself off. And at that point, Felicia will go on the block, but then we're sending America out. As long as America stays on the block, she's going home. And she's buying into it. She's saying, I get it. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I understand why you're doing it. We're good. All right. Jag is mentioning to Matt, a little bit of a fear that they could be building an all-girls alliance. it doesn't matter at this point in time. You only got two guys. You're booting out the ladies no matter what. That die's been cast if that actually does happen. They just need to make sure that they create or keep up enough animosity between these ladies that they don't come together. Because certainly Matt and Jag have a huge target on their back, regardless of gender. It had nothing to do with gender. It has to do with being comp beasts that they are. Jag, at least. All right, we've got, and Matt should be. It's funny, Matt's only one, and thank you to a couple of people who pointed out that, yeah, Matt actually has one more than Felicia, but not by a whole lot. But yeah, they're talking about that a little bit. All right, we got Blue talking to Felicia and Cirie, and she's saying, look, Blue's she's so empathetic. She's so understanding of other people. She's just in there to help other people out. She's such a caring soul, because she's telling Felicia and Cirie, saying, I do not want y'all on the block, and in order to keep y'all off the block, I am fine going up. She had told Jag during their discussion, she said, if you came in here telling me that Felicia was going to go on the block, I was going to volunteer myself to keep her from going on the block. Such a kind soul. So yeah, she's telling Cirie and Felicia that I do not want you on the block. So if it means me going up, it's fine. No worries. No issue at all. She's saying, I understand why Jag did it. She said, certainly I realize that I can beat America on just about any comp that they have. She says, yeah, she did okay on a pressure cooker, but other than that, I'll beat America on anything that we've got. So yeah, she's feels pretty comfortable about her ability to make sure America doesn't win this veto. And she's saying that if America does win the veto, at that point, Bowie Jane is going to go up, and Bowie Jane's going to get evicted. So Cirie, Felicia, y'all are good no matter what. And then she says the other good thing about this, she says, America's going home, but if America doesn't go home, if Bowie Jane goes home instead, well, then we'll just send America out at the double eviction instead. So y'all are still safe. I'm still safe. We're all golden. We're all fantastic. Well, we'll see what happens over the next few days. All right, we've got it. Now here's the beauty. We don't know who's going to win the veto, and that'll come into play a little bit. But Blue is feeling like no matter what happens, she's safe. She's going to spend this whole week on the block feeling fairly comfortable, unless someone spills the beans to her, feeling fairly comfortable. We could be in for a huge blindside come Thursday, unless someone tells her just jury management or whatever. But we'll find that. It could be an interesting week. All right, we did have the nominations take place. I'm talking about all this ahead of time. Nominations did take place, and as expected, America and Blue are on the block. There was some talk, and we didn't see the nominations, obviously, but there was some talk that maybe Jag came in talking to America saying, was I cruel? Was I mean in what I said? And America says something like, oh yeah, you made me cry, but I'm good. I'm fine. I thought it was funny. And he was saying, I was trying to be funny. And so we don't know what he said, but apparently it was kind of pointed towards America, but it sounds like hopefully she took it in the good humor it was intended, or at least she's smart enough not to call him out and complain, given the circumstances she's under right now. But we did have the nominations. The two of them are on the block. America thinks that Blue is the actual target. Blue thinks that America is the actual target. Yeah. It'll be an interesting week. All right. We've got Cirie talking to Felicia. Now, Cirie's understanding this pretty well. Cirie is telling Felicia, saying, you know what? It makes no sense to put Blue on the block unless they actually want her out. She said, I'm not buying this, that she's just up there as a pawn. If they've got Blue up there, I think Blue is the actual target. Felicia not necessarily understanding that. Cirie thinking that's the case. Cirie understanding the situation better than Felicia is at this point in time. All right, we've got Bowie and Jag talking to one another. Bowie's giddy. She understands that she's in a pretty good spot. The fact that they still aren't asking her to even go up as a pawn has got to have her feel like she's really got these two guys just wrapped around her little finger to some degree. She's saying to Jag that she thinks the nominations are perfect because if Blue goes home next week, or if Blue goes home come Thursday, the next week, even if someone else, say in America or so on, was to win and put up Matt and Jag, that one of the other people in the House could win the veto and send someone else out the door. That if it isn't America, that Cirie and Felicia would certainly use the veto, and they can make sure that Matt or Jag gets pulled off, that America goes out the door. In other words, she thinks that because of the nominations, that now Cirie and Felicia will feel very close to Matt and Jag and work with them. So it's going to be everyone against America next week. She's thinking it's a perfect situation. All right, we've got Felicia and Cirie and America have been studying dates, things in the house, counts, how many of this is in the house. I even heard them saying how many holes are in the thing of cheese up in the have not room, the cheese bed. They've got everything memorized in this whole house. I remember doing some of that myself as well. Never really came into play, but you never know. So they're talking about that. Matt complained a little bit later that Cirie and Felicia were helping America study, because not just this week, even if she's not a target, they don't necessarily want her knowing this stuff for on down the road for, say, a Final 3 HOH comp, things like that. So he's complaining a little bit, but they have been studying. Everyone's been studying this house quite a bit. All right, we've got Blue talking to Matt. She's telling Matt, I think they were up in the HOH room alone. Jag was in a DR. Blue's telling Matt that she understands why Jag put her up as a way to help win the competitions and keeping America from winning the veto. She's absolutely good with that. She's talking about how much she absolutely needs America out of the house this week. She's also talking about Bowie Jane quite a bit. She's saying, look, Bowie Jane is risky because she's so wishy-washy. She'll go with whoever has the power at the time. And Blue is saying, I just cannot, with that kind of conduct, she said, I just can't see Bowie Jane in a Final 5 with us. She doesn't deserve to be here. She says, you and Jag and myself, Cirie, Felicia, we deserve to be Final 5. We deserve to get the little bit of extra bonus money that's thrown at the Final 5 finishers. She said, until Bowie Jane had her meltdown, I would have said she deserved it as well. She said, not anymore. Bowie Jane is wishy-washy. We need to get her gone right after we get rid of America. And Blue is saying that Cirie and Felicia are on board to go to the very end, that she talked to them, that they're certainly on board to go to the end as a Final 5. And again, Matt, Jag, Cirie, Felicia, and Blue. Well, that Final 5 may be turning into a Final 4 a little quicker than Blue's thinking. All right, everyone had dinner up in the HOH room together. I think Cirie's actually the one who made it. She carried it all upstairs. They're all sitting around the little table up in the HOH room just to do something a little different, having dinner up there. We did that a few times. We had a few dinners. We had a few cereal breakfast mornings together upstairs. It's kind of nice. You're at the point in time, there's fewer people going on. It does get so stressful. Just to absolutely take a complete break from gameplay, have a nice dinner for just a little while and just chill out. And so that's what they did for the first part of the evening last night with their dinner upstairs. Now, having said that, apparently Felicia said something to America that was rather pointed, rather abrasive. We don't really know because it wasn't, feeds were cutting in and out. So we don't know what was said. Apparently it was not while feeds were on, but she said something to America that made her feel like she probably needed to apologize for it, because later she came down and apologized for it. Cirie at one point said something about Felicia, she's gonna get us evicted from this house, and she at one point is saying everyone's just so dang loud in here and everything. Now I don't know if she's talking specifically about this comment from Felicia or just Felicia talking in general and house guests talking in general. Don't know for certain, but Felicia said something that she felt like she needed to do a little damage control, and I don't know if we'll ever hear exactly what it was or not, but she did come up to America, apologize a little bit later, and say, unfortunate, she wished she had said and all that. All right, but we don't know what it was. All right, we got Jag and Felicia talking a little bit. Jag is saying that as soon as the veto competition is over today, as soon as it's over, we should know for certain at that point then that America is going home. So he's still spinning to Felicia that Blue is safe, that America is going out the door. I think Felicia and Blue, probably theoretically Cirie, but she understands, I think, as well. Felicia and Blue are probably the only ones in this house who don't realize that Blue is actually primary target number one this week, because he's telling Felicia, saying as soon as the comp's over, as long as America hadn't won it, we'll know she's going home. It should be an easier week going forward. Felicia thinks so as well. In fact, Felicia's not really thinking about noms and eviction. She's talking about home video. Well, She's talking about home videos, how excited she'll be to get those pretty quick. She's also talking a lot about food. She's upset they're going to do a little Indian dinner with Jag using some of his ingredients, but they didn't have boneless chicken thighs and stuff, spices, cream, heavy creams. Felicia's calling out everything to Big Brother over the mics that she needs, and she's saying, "Hey, it can't be like, next, couple of days. We need it today. We need this stuff now, Mr. B." So she's putting in her order of what she needs from her personal Big Brother grocery shopper. But yeah, she's not thinking too much about the evictions either at this point in time. Now, talking about food, Cirie did make some cookies that look pretty nutritious. Just throwing out there. I guess I was hungry while I was watching the feeds last night. All right, we got Cirie and Felicia talking to one another a little bit. Felicia is saying that she doesn't think that Jag is putting them up. Even if someone wins a veto, she doesn't think that Jag will put the two of them up, that they should be safe. And Cirie's saying, well, he sure as heck isn't putting up Bowie Jane. In other words, don't be so certain, Felicia, that we're not going to see the block this week, because she understands where Felicia maybe doesn't, that Bowie Jane is tighter to Matt and Jag than maybe they're letting on. Cirie, in fact, seems a little exasperated with Felicia, that maybe Felicia isn't seeing this better, isn't understanding that their position with Matt and Jag isn't quite as tight as Felicia thinks it is. She's saying at one point, in fact, she's saying, look, Matt and Jag have Blue and Bowie both trusting. I think she says Jag specifically. She says Matt's got Bowie and Blue both trusting him. She uses some other terms, but basically trusting him completely. And as soon as America is saved by Jag, he'll have America as well. He's playing a great game. He's got all these ladies that are all thinking that Jag is it and trusting in him completely. She's pointing out to Felicia. I just don't know if Felicia still is recognizing that. All right, we've got America, Cirie, and Felicia talking. Felicia's talking to America, saying, look, be careful about what you tell Bowie Jane, because Bowie Jane will run right back up and tell Jag about it. So just don't think that anything you tell her is going to be secret. She's also complaining about Bowie Jane hanging out with Matt and Jag all night long. She says it's tiring. I can't keep up with it. She's just up there with them all the time. Well, Cirie pointed out to you that she's maybe tighter than you think she is. She is complaining about what she's seeing as part of that. Felicia's also warning America to be careful about talking to Blue. She's saying Blue will bait you into saying things. She'll bait you. Yeah, that's true, right? So we already know that Cirie is comfortable with Blue going home. I truly think if Blue does go home this week, Felicia will probably be okay as well, because Jag's going to spin it to her saying, look, Blue had to go home. I sure didn't. I wanted to protect you, and the quickest way to do that was to send her out the door. I think he'll do some damage control. But she is warning America that Blue necessarily can't be trusted quite as much either. After America leaves, Felicia then tells Cirie she doesn't trust Blue. Yeah, I don't trust Blue at all. And Cirie again telling Felicia, saying Blue is a target this week. I know, I'm just telling you, Blue is a target. She wouldn't be on the block if she wasn't. So Cirie understands it. I don't know that Felicia still is getting it. Well, she'll find out eventually, right? All right, everyone in bed by midnight. Again, it was a fairly quick night. Everyone's getting ready for this veto comp. Oh my gosh, this veto comp and the HOH comps that they're going to follow. They continue to go over all the counts of everything in the house. Jag has continued to tie. He taught Matt. He's telling everyone about how the counting competition could possibly work and how to hack that and beat it. They're still talking about slip and slide. They're still talking about spelling. Every possible competition you can imagine has been discussed, and they're all ready for it today. So there you go. That's it. House guests in bed by midnight or so. Into the discussion, we've got America and Blue on the block. Blue's the actual target. She doesn't understand that, doesn't realize that yet, but she will. Now, with all of that, normally I'd sign off, but I want to add just one little extra thing. Just as I was getting ready to record this, all my notes ready to go, everything, the feed showed the house guests getting woken up super early, like 7 o'clock or so local time. They're woken up. So I actually held off recording this thinking, something big's getting ready to happen. They're going to have a morning veto or some long endurance. Could slip and slide be a veto competition and they're going to do it all day long? No, none of that. As far as I can tell, He's just a very early morning veto draw, which we had sometimes. If you watch some of our episodes from my season and other seasons as well, sometimes you'll see people at veto competitions wearing pajamas and bathrobes. It's not like Cirie doesn't wear a bathrobe 24 hours a day anyway, but everyone a little earlier in the morning, no makeup on for the ladies and all that. Well, that's what they had today, a very early veto draw. So I do have just a little bit more information I'll pass your way before I sign off for my day. And that is that they had the veto draw. Remember, there's 7 people in the house. 6 people get to compete. So only one lonely person isn't going to get to play in the veto this afternoon. Who do you think it is? Well, yeah, of course, it's Cirie. Cirie has the worst luck in the world. Once again, her chip was not drawn. Now, I don't know if anyone got house guest choice or anything. I don't know that for certain, but everyone will be competing in this veto competition except for Cirie, who did not get drawn. I'm surprised they aren't checking that box to make sure her chip is there. It is. We checked during our season as well. But yeah, Cirie did not get picked. So everyone else will be competing. Cirie may be hosting if it's that kind of veto competition. We will find out. It may still be a nice long comp considering they woke them up so early. Maybe they just wanted to have them with a little less sleep. So they're a little more stressed out, because that's what you need, just a little more stress in the Big Brother house. All right, guys, with that, I'm going to shut it down. Y'all have a fantastic Saturday. We will have the veto competition today. I should have the results tomorrow morning, so I get you an update at that point in time. Once we know who the veto winner is, we'll know a little bit more about who's going to be on the blocks come Thursday and who's probably going to be going home. So I'll have it all for you tomorrow morning. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.